All right, going live in three, two, one. Well, this is Olivia On Air, episode number 14. We'll bring Olivia up. How are you doing this evening?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Okay. Were you uh were you affected by the Ida storm that came through? I don't think you were you?
I was not. I was fortunate enough to, I think where I'm at in Florida, I think we just got like big storms. I think most of Florida just got big storms. So,
That's good. Yeah, where I was, it wasn't too bad. And unfortunately, though, I will say two people that I know got affected. One not so bad. One is one of the other shows. Her name is Lorian. We do a show period mostly on the weekends, but she lives in Mississippi and she was partially affected by it. Fortunately, nothing happened. I think she might have had a power outage or something, and she said the Wi-Fi was down for a little bit, but nothing too severe, nothing really bad. But I just found out today one of my affiliates, WOLD, which is a radio station in New Jersey, just outside of New York City, they were running their station. The main computer and all their equipment was actually in the house of one of the people that works there. His house not only got flooded, but the foundation fell through. And when he went to rescue, he had to rescue his dog, which he was able to do. And when he finally got back to his house, the county had come by, or the local ordinance had come by and said that the house was no longer habitable. They put a big sign saying no one was allowed to enter into his own home. I
oh
was
my gosh.
I couldn't believe it. I was like, wow. And he not only that, he said that ever since that happened, that was on Thursday, I think, or Wednesday, they have not been broadcasting. Their station has been down. I was like, oh, I couldn't believe it. So I really felt sorry for him. All I said was, I'm sorry you had to go through all that. And he's going to try to get everything back up again. But that was New York City, which is really strange in the sense that when it came through here where I live, it didn't seem that bad, and it came right through the area. And it's not like like we only got a little bit of it. It came right through. We got some flooding, and that was about it. Nothing that severe. I couldn't believe how New York and New Jersey got hit worse than this area. Consider
Yeah,
by the time it gets up there, you would think it'd be less severe, but I guess it wasn't. So,
right. Did you see the videos of New York City? The subway was like totally flooded. It's awful.
oh no, I didn't see that. Oh wow.
Yeah, like a lot of the subways are like, there's like water up to people's knees or their hips, and they're just like walking through it. It's awful.
I mean, they were actually letting people like in the subway. Is that right?
I think it's like a lot of the people were trapped in there because
Hmm.
the water was so high and they had to like let him out. It was it was really bad. And
Yeah.
like a lot of the flights coming in and out were like delayed or stopped, and it was just like it was like the city shut down or something. It was crazy.
Wow. Yeah, I guess I've been over the past month and a half. I've kind of faded away from national news. I've just been watching mainly just like I'll watch when I watch anything on the internet. I'll just watch like simple stuff like movie reviews. Nothing controversial at all anymore. I've kind of changed my tone of looking at things now. So the only news I will focus on like lately is local news because I have to produce it for one of my stations, but that's about
Right.
it. And so I've been, I hear this stuff and I'm going, wow, what have I been missing? It's like, I just don't pay attention to the national news anymore. So,
I mean, it's probably healthier. You'll probably live longer if you don't look at the national news because it's just getting worse by the second.
uh-huh. Yeah. Wow. I've got to look into that, but yeah, when I really want to take a look at the subway stuff and see. But the thing I'm curious, I assume it must have just happened, right? Is that what you're saying? So like they didn't let the people in after the flooding started, right?
Yeah, it was probably, I think it was like last week or the week before where it like really started. And the same thing happened in Germany. A lot of like it's kind of on the same topic. Germany flooded, like I don't know what part of it, but it flooded so bad that a bunch of like historical, like really old buildings and like homes were like washed away.
Oh, wow.
It's crazy.
Oh, that sucks. That stinks. Wow. The what was what was that storm? That was obviously not the same one, right? I mean,
Right, right. I'm sure it was a different story. I didn't look too far into it.
okay. It's that's a shame too. What was the within the past year? What was the Notre Dame? Wasn't it something that burned down over there?
Yeah, the Notre Dame burned down. I
Yeah.
think that was that almost 2 years ago or something?
Oh, has it been 2 years? Oh,
I don't
okay.
know. It's time is hard. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I know. I look at something, I'm like, I can't believe how long something has gone by. I keep on thinking like, I'll look at something and go, it's like only happened a few months ago, and someone will say, no, that happened a few years ago, and I go, oh, really? Oh, wow. So,
I
I
just
don't.
looked it up. Oh my gosh, that was 2019.
Oh, it was 2 years ago. Wow, that's interesting. Well, let's see. I wanted to bring this up. We brought just before the show. I brought this up. You had some I guess you could say more progress. That's the word I'm looking for with your pants, with the art on your pants or jeans.
Yeah, I finished them. So now I
Oh,
just need to
there
wait
we go.
until it's cold enough to wear them.
There we go. Bring them up there. There we go. That's
There
pretty.
they are in their full glory.
Let's see. No, there was one other. Here's the other image right here. So explain. So you were ironing this on. How? What is this part? What's this part showing?
So I had painted everything, and the paint had been dry for 24 hours, as per the instructions on the little bottle of fabric stuff. And then I got the iron fired up, and this, I think ironing them, and like it's called heat setting. So like I'm not sure exactly what happens, but there's some chemical reaction between the paint and the iron, or like the heat of the iron, that like makes it so that it sets into the jeans, into the fabric, so that if you wash it, it doesn't come out with soap and water. And so that's what I did there. And that probably took probably about maybe an hour and a half or 2 hours.
Hmm. Just for the ironing part is what you're referring to, right?
Yeah.
Gotcha. How long? So how long did it take you to finish everything? That was like a couple of months, right?
Well, the jeans, see, I did them like, if I had painted it all in one fell swoop or one fell sweep, I'm not sure which one it is, it would have probably taken me like 2 days if I did it all day and all night. But I did it like, I would paint intermittently. I would like work on a different project, and then I would continue painting these. So it took me like 3 weeks with not being consistent with painting. But
And are you happy with your final results? I think they look pretty nice.
yes, they're fun and funky, and they're exactly what I wanted.
The and this is for you, right? Because didn't you say something about your mother as well, or that I'm remembering something wrong about that?
Yeah, you're right. These are for me. I want to make a pair for my mom because she wants like a pair of shorts with them on it, and so does my best friend. She wants a pair of shorts with, like, I think all the fruits on it. She might also want one with just like lemons on them, but I'm not sure.
Gotcha. And are you going to show us the progress of those as well?
Oh, I haven't started because we didn't get the jeans for it yet. So
Gotcha. Well, I mean,
yeah,
but when you actually start, do you want to show us the progress of those as well?
yeah.
So as far as are they going to look similar? I'm just curious. Are you going to try to do it different for? Is it going to look? What kind of style are you going to use? I guess as far as the artistic outlines.
Well, the problem is if I try to make it look similar, it always turns out a little different. I can't ever like exactly copy my art that I do. Um, so like if I try to make it look the same, it's going to end up different. And if I don't try, it's definitely going to end up different. So I might as well just just go for, you know, whatever however I'm feeling like drawing fruits at the time.
I gotcha. Now, I have to say, is that I hate to nitpick. Is that a little happy mistake right
That
there?
is 100% a mistake.
Okay.
But I decided to leave it there because, why not?
I'm thinking of Bob Ross when he had a little happy mistakes, or I forget how he used to be. You know who Bob Ross is, I'm sure, right?
Yeah. That line is showing motion in the pear.
Oh, okay. That's a good one. I like that. Cool. Anything else you'd like to add to that oh wait, I didn't notice on the little belt things you got little, oh, I didn't see that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I put like a lemon, and then on the other one there's a pear. It's a kind of really crappy pear because it's really small, but I tried.
No,
And
that's
then on the back there's more, but I don't think I took a picture of those.
It's not in here. No, that's not in there. Okay, but that is good. That looks really nice. I think they were pretty cool. So,
They're fun and funky for sure.
are you going to take a picture of yourself wearing them when it gets? I guess you say when it gets cooler.
I might. I'm not sure yet.
What kind of a top are you going to match that with?
I'm thinking either just like a white t-shirt because those are really gonna steal the show, or like a tan button down. I feel like that would be a nice compliment, like something like really calm and like almost corporate mixed with something that's like totally outrageous. I think that would be fun.
Hmm. And then the anything special with the shoes? I think you said you're just going to use plain shoes too, right?
Yeah, just white sneakers probably.
Okay. That sounds, yeah, I think that would definitely help draw attention. Now, when do you want? I assume you want this to draw attention when you're out. When you're going to wear them out in public.
Of course.
Okay. The
These are my fun and funky pants. And it's my art, so it's basically like being an advertisement for myself.
ah okay. You didn't put a website on the back or anything, did you?
No.
That'd be kind of funny. I worked for a company that was so vain. They put their website on the back of a truck, and the people were like, "You don't." It was for the service we were doing. You didn't want to do that. It just didn't make any sense. And we tried to explain it to the salespeople, and they're like, "No, no, no. We got to put a website. We got to put our website on the back." It's like, and we tried to explain to them. It just didn't make any sense, and they put it
Right.
on there anyway. So I knew you weren't going to do that. I was just thought I'd throw that in there. So okay. Well, I want to bring up our question from last week, and I think we got a pretty decent response. Here it is right here. Oh, my mouse keeps on getting stuck. There we go. All right. What is your favorite kind of YouTube video to watch? So just a little bit more than half. We got 52% with commentary, 28% with gaming, 11% with songs or music videos, 6% with their choice, and we'll go through that in a minute, and then politics at 3%. So that's interesting. 52% commentary. Now, what did commentary cover again? Because I find that interesting. That's such a high number.
Yeah, I thought gaming would be the highest number since this is like a primarily a gaming channel. But
Hmm.
commentary, I would say, is like if you're watching something that's like commenting on the faults of the Tyra Banks show. There are many, so that's a good commentary video to watch. Or like from that to like watching a commentary video on a movie, like kind of like breaking apart the movie, or maybe like a style analysis. I would call commentary kind of like analyzing things and commenting on them.
Okay. The yeah, my thought was going to be music videos. To be honest, I thought that'd be well, not necessarily high at the most, but maybe close to being high. Because I thought, from what I'd heard, and of course I have no idea if the source I heard it from was being accurate. I think I said this. A lot of people watch YouTube just to watch music videos, so I thought that would be pretty high. But it's not too high, not too low, but it's not as high as I thought it would be. I thought it'd be maybe even close to tying with like the whatever the lead one was. So and and gaming, you're right. Gaming should have been a little bit higher too. So I'm surprised about that. So
Yeah, for sure.
well, let me go ahead and bring the let me reset this so it's at the newest ones first. Okay. Sure. I'm just sure what the first one's saying there. Let's see. We'll go to Kiss Best Fan. Regular commenter says, car related vids, gadgets, repairs, general maintenance. I do periodically watch those kind of videos if I need to find something that I need to fix, but I don't go out of my way to watch them. So, and it doesn't. I would assume a lot of people probably do that in general. It doesn't have to be car videos, but it could be general repair. Like if there's something in your house you need to get fixed. Like I do remember trying to fix the my washer machine wasn't working correctly, so I went on to look to see how it was to get it fixed. Things like that, similar to that. So I could see that. Um, but as far as going there on any kind of regular, I don't go to those at all on any regular basis. I can't imagine myself going there just for the fun of it. It just doesn't seem to be that much of a fun related thing. Would you do that?
So I've seen like a few videos from this one channel that kind of makes car related stuff interesting to me personally. And it's called Donut. I think it's one of the more popular. I think it's referring to like make like donuts, like being in a car and making them. You know,
On the ground, like
yeah.
yeah, I got you.
Um, I I haven't seen a video recently because I'm not gonna lie, some of the thumbnails look really obnoxious, but they seem like a good channel to watch. And I think that more channels like that are like coming up that like make something mundane to, most people more interesting, you know?
Yeah, and now that you mentioned it, I have watched another guy periodically, not on a regular basis though. I can't remember his name. Scotty something. See if I can find his name real quick. Hold on. I think this is it right here. I'll bring it up here. Yeah, here he is. Yeah, he does repair work. I'm not gonna play his videos. Hold on a second. I might turn the sound off first. For some reason my browser keeps on blocking the banner. I have to refresh the screen. Give me 1 second. I'll bring it up here.
Go
Not sure
for it.
why it does that. Okay, here we go. Yeah, Scotty Kilmer. Yeah, I forgot about him. You talk about like what he does. He does these weird videos. He's kind of a quirky little guy. So I mean that in a fun, positive way. I don't mean that he's very funny sometimes.
Yeah.
So and if those who've ever seen or heard the radio show by it was called Car Talk. It's been off the air for a long time, but it was two brothers. Their names were Tom and Ray Marazzi. It was an Italian name, and they called themselves Click and Clack. This guy Scotty kind of reminds me of those two guys. Kind of a funny guys. I used to listen to them a lot when I was a kid, and in my teenager and my early adult years.
I've
So
heard that before. I've 100% heard car talk before. I think it was on the radio when I was in like middle school or something,
okay,
or
yeah,
maybe a spin-off of it, like a replica of it, or like the reruns of the show or something like that. And it was two guys and it was called Car Talk. So,
and they were constantly laughing, right?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's them. One of them passed away within the past couple of years. I can't remember which one,
Um,
but they were also in the movie Cars. You ever see Cars, the Pixar film? They
oh
uh,
yes. Yeah.
they because they're so popular, they were and they had a guest appearance in that. And then in Cars 3, they had a more prominent. Both of them were back in again for that one. They weren't. I don't think they were in the second one. The interesting thing is by the time the third one came out though, the one brother who had died, he'd already passed away, so they had to use lines that he had pre-recorded from the first movie to throw them in there, which is it worked pretty well. I gotta say it was very interesting how they incorporated his voice into that one. So
Yeah. I would never have known.
yeah, the other thing that's kind of funny is when they in the movie, the cars that they made them into were the cars that if you listen to the show enough, it was the cars that they would often talk about that they liked, the ones that they liked the most, or maybe not the most, but the ones they commonly referenced the most. That's who they modeled their car design after when they made them in the cars. So
Oh, that's sweet.
now let's see, go down to okay. Celine says, "What PC name, baby?" I think you must know what kind of PC I'm using. It's I don't know, because I use two different PCs. So one's a Windows 7, the other's a Windows 10 computer, and I have to alternate back and forth depending on which game I'm doing. So I think that's what he means. I don't know, maybe unless it's something to do with the question. I don't know. Okay. Let's see. Commentary, magic, music, and gaming. Magic. Interesting.
That's
Magic.
cool.
Yeah. I used to watch Magic but then when you start realizing a lot of these Magic videos, you can see every time they edit, like every time the camera switches to a different angle, you know that's an edit. So that's where they slip in a lot of times where they slip in the magic trick. So I don't,
Oh,
when you see that every time the camera switches to a different angle, you know, okay, they're not being as straightforward. If they kept the camera right on the magician the whole time without switching anything, they're being more straightforward. So
right.
Chris
I
Angel is
don't
notorious for that. So
I
if you,
don't personally want to learn the tricks of magic because I enjoy being mystified by the magic trick. So,
I remember when I was a kid, I was at a show at Busch Gardens in Williamsburg, Virginia, and they cut two women in half. And I was so young, I walked out and I told my parents, "Wow, they actually switched those bodies. Those women have different legs now." So what they do is they swapped them around. They made it look like they swapped them around, and they cut them in half and then gave the other woman the other legs, and obviously they didn't. But
Right.
let's see, whatever pops up. Let's see, random mix of memes. Uh, uh, what's that? Edited properly, edited parody videos, train videos, historical videos. I've watched a couple of train videos and historical videos once in a while. I don't go out of my way to watch it, but they are pretty cool if you're into them. I can watch any kind of YouTube video. Genre of gaming. Roy 216 regular commentator says gaming mostly old games like GTA 3, Vice City, San Andreas, Project G, I guess, NFS, old versions, etc. Not sure what NFS means. Um, reviews videos of electronic. I watch those sometimes. There's a guy. His name is Techmoan. I'll throw him out there. I think he's from the United Kingdom, and he reviews electronics, but he reviews old electronics, stuff that's outdated, not used anymore. And he'll go on eBay and he'll buy it and he'll give a little background on it, and it's pretty fun to watch. Pretty fun to watch. Let's see, just reviews. I usually use Rubik's Cube videos, otherwise gaming videos. Rubik's Cube videos, huh? I've never been able to solve that. You ever tried the Rubik's Cube before?
I'm not smart enough for that. Not even a little bit. Those are always so confusing.
I was able to get when I was younger. I had one. I was able to get one side, which is pretty easy to do, but then I was able to get an adjacent side as well. I could do that, but not the opposite side. And apparently, the trick is you need to get the opposite sides, and once you get that, then they all fall in line after that. So, but
Oh.
I was never able to figure it out. So,
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really try that hard. I'm not gonna lie. I think I was probably like in fifth grade when I picked one up for the first time, and I was kind of the kind of kid that was like, if I'm not immediately at least semi good at something, I'm gonna just give up, and that's exactly what happened. So,
I will say at the same time when I was a kid, I had one of these. I'll bring it up. I'm not going to play it, but it's called the Pyraminx. It's a four-sided, kind of like a Rubik's cube. Um, and this thing was extremely easy to solve. For me anyway. I mean, it was like my parents, I think, got it for me as a gift, or maybe a friend did. And I, once you solve one side, the other three sides just pretty much solve themselves at that point. So,
I
um,
don't know.
it looks like it's tricky, but it really isn't. It's actually pretty simple. So, I think anybody can figure these out. That's probably why they never made it. It came out at the time when the Rubik's cube was as basically at the beginning of its popularity, and so they were coming out with other ones, and this was one of the ones that came out, and I guess they didn't realize how easy it was going to be to solve. So that's probably why it never caught on that much. So
Right.
let's see. Yeah, where do we go? Gaming. What is these? Gaming. It's complicated. Wonder what that means. Sure. I'm not sure what that means. Commentary, guns. Uh, let's see. I have watched once in a while. I watch videos where people are shooting. I'm not a big gun person, but I wouldn't mind one day going to a shooting range and just firing off some guns just for fun. So nothing else though. I just like since I've done it in video games. Sometimes I'd like to see what it's like to actually go to a target range and just shoot at targets. See what that's like. So, what's it say?
Debates.
Debates. Okay, I thought I said diabetes for a second
Me too.
they're my release. And Sandeep Mohan R, regular contributor, says gaming videos, especially your videos. Keep up the good work, bro. Thank you very much. And then, of course, Brandon P, another contributor with GTA videos. Cool. Alrighty. Well, that's a pretty good response. So, how do
Yeah,
you feel about
thank you everyone for commenting.
that?
I definitely thought gaming would be more popular and like music videos would be second most popular.
Yeah. Yeah. That's I'm actually surprised the commentary got up so high like that. So, alrighty. So, what is you said you had a question for this week as well?
Yeah, I think a good one would be, do you like movies or TV shows more? And then you could do like why. Leave your answer in the comment below.
Okay. Movies. So when you say movies, sorry, I had something there. Would you when you say movies, do you mean like theatrical movies?
Yeah, I mean like movies that you find on Netflix or something.
Okay. Not made for TV movies, because those would be the same as similar. I guess it wouldn't matter, I guess. So yeah.
I would call those like I'm talking about movies as in like the time that you're spending to watch them, you know?
Hmm. Okay.
Like a 2 hour long movie that's like meant to be consumed in one sitting. You know, obviously it's not like mandatory, but that's kind of how it's like intended to be seen, versus like a show, which is obviously 25 or 30-minute long or even 45-minute long. I've seen a few shows that are 45-minute long episodes, that are meant to be consumed. You know, you can binge them or you can, it's more flexible.
Okay. The how about miniseries? Well, I guess that would be classified under movies, or that could be a combination, I guess.
What do you mean by that? Like the Sherlock series? That's the
I'm not
the
sure
one
what
that
that one
comes
is.
to the forefront of my brain.
Some of the mini series, like Shogun, was a very popular mini series from way back in the day. In 2003, they had a mini series for Battlestar Galactica. There were two. One was on one part. Part of it was on one night, and that was 2 hours long. The next one was on the following night. That was also like 2 hours long. Um, let's see. Roots was a very popular one back in the 70s. I forget how many nights that was on. It was it was like watching a series of movies, kind of. Um, but it wasn't a TV show. That's why they call it, I guess, a mini series, because it's not really a not a TV series. So
I'm not very well versed in that. So,
okay, I would think it's kind of like a cross between the two. It really is. So
right.
all right. So what kind of answers would you like to leave for that? Theatrical
Well,
movies.
we could do like I don't instead of like doing movies or TV shows first, we could do like I just watch YouTube or
Hmm.
I only read books. I don't know.
Oh, I like that too. Okay. I read books, or I just read books. How about, do you want to watch? Do you want to leave the just out of both of those? Just have I watch YouTube like this?
Yeah, go
Okay.
for it.
Alrighty. And then we put movies.
Yeah.
Movies. I spelled that wrong. Hold on. Movies. And TV shows. Uh, okay.
And then
And
like other and then like leave a comment.
okay. Uh,
Perfect.
well, let me make sure my grammar is good. Do you like movies or television shows better, and why? Leave a comment. I watch YouTube. I read books, movies, television shows, and other. Okay, here we go. Ready?
Yep.
There we go. Cool. All right, we'll come back to that one and see what kind of response. That's a pretty good question. Hopefully, we get a decent response like the last one. Alrighty.
Yeah, cuz I noticed that for me like I don't really know how to explain it and I think it's because of the ADHD, but like I sometimes the idea of watching a new show or a new movie just gives me anxiety and it gives me anxiety for like 3 months. So I don't watch anything new on TV for like 3 months and if I might not even like watch a movie that I've seen before or watch a TV show that I've seen before and it's like I don't know, it's just weird feeling that it's like it's not like being super anxious about it. It's like just kind of not being interested in watching something new. It's weird. So I'm just wondering if other people feel like that, you know?
The I don't really watch that many TV shows at all anymore. So the only show I was watching Better Call Saul for a while, until that's kind of been put on hold for a little bit. Um, other than that, I was watching Fargo. I don't know if that's ever coming back. The Fargo, which was based on the movie Fargo, was a TV series. I was watching that, but that hasn't been on for a couple of years at least now. So, but um, I don't really get into watching TV shows at all. So, it's usually I just stick to watching stuff that people when they it's kind of, I guess you could say it's kind of interesting. I actually watch people reviewing TV shows and movies rather than watching the shows or movies themselves more often than anything else. Uh,
Yeah,
and it's often shows that I've seen in the past. So like a series of shows or something like that. So,
I do the same kind of thing except with like fashion analyses. I watch like a fashion analysis of like the movie Clueless or Mean Girls or something cuz there's so much that like effort that's put into those, outfit like the outfits and the passage of time and how, they progress through the story. It's just really interesting.
wow, I didn't know they had videos that did analysis of the clothing. That's interesting. Um,
Yeah, there's this really great channel called Modern Girls. It's all one word and there's a Z at the end instead of an S. And they do uh, outfit analyses of movies. And especially with the movie Clueless, they explain how, like, the outfits kind of take you through time. Um, so that because, especially if they're in school in Los Angeles, it's hard to show. Yeah, it's that one. It's hard to show like the passage of time and because it's like always sunny,
mhm.
and so they can do it with the outfits and the colors that they use, and they show how like the two main characters are always coordinated in a way, but not like, yeah, that's it. The style analysis in
Oh, okay.
Clueless, and like how like the one that wants to stand out and kind of like the mean girl is really just copying the main character and all this stuff. It's so cool. And obviously, not all movies and shows go into extreme detail about the outfits that they create, and um not all of the like outfit designers for movies and shows do an in-depth job, of showing that kind of stuff. But a lot of these channels analyze the movies that do, which is really cool.
Are they? Is it mainly for younger people? Or is it,
It's for everyone. I feel like if you are interested in fashion or movies, especially if you're interested in movie creation, like I feel like this kind of stuff is really important to watch if you're like studying movies, or if you want to do something in the movie or TV industry, because understanding how the viewer reacts subconsciously and consciously to the outfits that you put on the characters is really important. And it feels like in some modern movies and TV shows, they're really slacking on the outfits, and they're kind of having that be a secondary thought when it really should be one of the more important things, because it totally changes how you view a character, um, and like how the consistency with the character is like based on their personality and stuff like that. Um, but yeah, I think it's just for everyone. It's for anyone who's interested in fashion
it
or
looks like it's
movies.
primarily women's fashion, though. Am I correct? I don't see anything for men's fashion.
Yeah, yeah, it's mostly women's fashion, but fashion I feel like is becoming more and more gender fluid. Anyone can wear anything. I mean, those jeans that I painted were men's jeans, and a lot of the clothes I wear are men's clothes because they just kind of are more comfortable to wear. So
Oh, yeah, but jeans are kind of universal anyway. Mostly, I mean, mostly. So, kind of. I mean, from appearance, yeah, it's. But yeah, I can see what you're saying there. So, okay, that's cool. Alrighty. Well, I wanted to. So the movie we were going to talk about this week is. Hold on, I'm bringing it up here. Best in Show, and I'm going. So did you want to describe this?
yeah, it's kind of like a satire or like a mockumentary style movie on the dog show, like dog owners. I didn't know there was any stigma before watching this movie, but I watched it a few months ago and it was hilarious. And it had a lot of like famous actors in it. So I was kind of surprised that I've never like heard of it or anything until then. And it was just really funny. It's a good movie to watch for sure.
The I you told me about it and you said while we watched this, you and I had never heard of the movie. However, once I started watching the movie, I immediately realized who did this, and this is part of a this is like a series of movies. Which and this one I'd never heard of before. So the director and one of the main writers of this is Christopher Guest, and he's did part of a movie that started this whole thing back in 1984 called This Is Spinal Tap. Have you ever heard of that?
I have not.
I immediately saw that it's the same style. It's the exact same style of movie. I was like, wait a minute, I've seen this. I was like, I was thinking to myself, I was like, I've seen this before. I was like, oh, wait a minute, this is the style. This is. Then I looked it up, and of course, I saw Christopher Guest, and I was like, oh yeah, okay. I didn't remember his name off the top of my head, but I remembered he and a lot of the people that were part of this is like Michael McEwen, and other people. I don't think Eugene Levy was originally part of it, but he was of the original thing. But they've done a few of these movies. Which the strange thing is, I'd never heard of this one, so this one kind of passed me by. The other one that I know that they did was called A Mighty Wind, which came out a couple years after this one, which also involved was also done by Christopher Guest, as well as Eugene Levy. They both wrote that one as well. So, and that one is very similar to this one as far as the style, where it looks like they're being interviewed, but they're not really being interviewed. They're just talking to the camera, almost like breaking the fourth wall, as they call it. And it's not really it's kind of a cross between the two. And this is Spinal Tap. You probably like that one because you like the older music. This is Spinal Tap is a mockumentary about a fake rock band from the 70s and 80s, and they actually have real songs that they play in that one that are they're parodies of songs from the era from that time period. And that was, like I said, that was the very first one. Of all of these. I'm not sure how many that they've done, and it's not always the same people, but there's a large number of them have worked together to do these. So it's a large number of people that have done these movies, especially and Christopher Guest, who is like the main guy in this one, has been part of most of them. So this would be the third one. I'm not sure how many others there are, but like I said, I've seen This Is Spinal Tap. I haven't seen that for a long time, and A Mighty Wind is similar to This Is Spinal Tap. It's about a band, but it's about polka music. So instead of being rock music, they do polka music. So this one was very interesting because it wasn't even about music, which was completely different from the other two. This was like you said about the dog shows, how what goes on in the dog shows and everything. And it's the exact same style. I mean, if you watch the other two, you'll immediately see the similarities between this movie and the other movies. It's the exact same style. From what I understand, I remember seeing This Is Spinal Tap when it was pretty much only a couple years old. I was really confused by what it was, by the style, because I'd never seen anything like it before. And they had, as far as I remember, no one had ever done this style of mockumentary type video before. So it was really bizarre to figure out what was going on, because I was like, wait, they're talking to the camera, but there's not really an interviewer there. So, and it was done so differently. It took me a while to catch on to what it was about. And then after I saw it, then I got used to it. But it was so, ever since then, that's caught on, and other people have done the same thing. So it's more common nowadays. But the first, in '84, when it first came out, this was very revolutionary for its style, that style of movie. So that nowadays you see it more often with things. So it's not as, and especially with reality TV shows, those are kind of like similar to this as well. So
Yeah, yeah. I think I had it. I kind of caught on really quick, but that's just because I grew up watching like The Office, and I've seen like Dance Moms and like Keeping Up with Our Kardashians, where there's no interviewer. It's just someone in like a confessional like room or whatever where they're talking to the camera. So
yeah, and I'll bring up the video right here. So um, okay, here we go. Here's the video. So I'm keeping the sound down so we don't get, this is most likely going to get a copyright, so I have to be very careful with this one. The okay, Eugene Levy and what's her name? Oh, what's her name on the left?
Scarlett O'Hara or Scarlett O'Hare.
Is it Scarlett? Hold on, I'll bring up the
I
IMDb.
think I might just be coming up with a name. I'm not sure.
Let's see. I know it's O'Hara. Let me see. Hold on. Oh, Catherine O'Hara. Is that
Oh, not even close to Scarlett, but
it?
there's a C in there.
Yeah, she and Eugene Levy have done acts together before. So I'm not sure how many times, but I was seeing this on YouTube as well. Someone was talking about how the two of them have done so many different acts together. So the fact that the two of them were together doing this was just another routine for the two of them. So
Right.
this guy right here, in case you're wondering, that's Christopher Guest. That's the guy who wrote and directed this. Obviously, he's the main writer. Obviously, Eugene Levy was in there as well. But I didn't recognize him. Of course, I didn't recognize him most likely because I think he's got gray hair now. He's just wearing a wig on top. So to make him look a little different. And I believe he was also played a character in Spinal Tap as well. So, but his character in this was so different than what I'm used to seeing. And I'm not like saying I'm a big fan of his, like I would recognize him anyway. But when I was like going through the credits, like, oh, that's him. Yeah. So I was like, let's point him out real quick. Let's see. Of course, Michael McKean. Oh, this is something I wanted to ask you. Before I go to Michael McKean. Okay. This is something that you said. You didn't like it when somebody, like, you have an older person and a younger person that are getting together as far as a relationship. Is that right?
I don't, I mean, like, if it's like this age gap, I don't really care about just because I love Jennifer Coolidge. I love everything that she's in. She's amazing. But I think I was talking about how when watching older movies, it's kind of like, it's not like unexpected, but it is weird to see how many times a 20-year-old girl is, casted opposite to like a 50-year-old man.
Oh,
That's
okay.
what I was talking. Like when a girl is like just barely legal, she's probably in her 30s or something. And she's doing what she's doing and I support her. They
Okay.
both seem like they're getting what they want out of the relationship, which is fine. But
I thought you maybe like you thought it was wrong or something, and he was like, I was going to ask you if you have a couple like that, that's say like a 30-year age gap, and they love each other, don't you think it'd be okay for them to be together, right? I mean, regardless.
if it's like I'm talking about like okay, like if the girl or whoever is below the age of 25 because your brain isn't fully developed yet and you can, be heavily influenced by people that you admire and the person that you admire might be, 40 or something and they can heavily influence you and they know that they have that power and they can abuse it. That's what I was talking about. But this is yeah, I
Okay.
don't care about this.
Well, yeah, this is done for laughs anyway.
Yeah.
Because the guy on the left is obviously they've done him up so he looks.
Look like he's you know a,
I'm,
a hard blow, like a hard breath away or a hard wind away from blowing away.
yeah, yeah. I'm not even sure who that is exactly. If that's, I mean, it's probably someone I wouldn't be surprised if it's like an actor I know. I just don't recognize him at a glance. So we got everybody, almost everybody in here was were in the other movies. I was like like this guy, I can't remember his name, but he was in A Mighty Wind. I believe he was in Spinal Tap as well. This is like a regular group of people. So it's like they get together and there's a core group of them. Not everybody was in all the movies, but there's a core group of them that are together and they just seem to enjoy doing these kinds of movies. So
Right.
yeah, we
Yeah,
got
and then I think this is also a really good example of how costume design is can be so like effective in showing what kinds of characters you have because I feel like in this obviously they're designing the outfits to be to the extreme for the character or like to kind of exaggerated, not maybe to the extreme, but exaggerated for the character. So when you see this, you know exactly what kind of people these people are. You kind
mhm,
of you can pick up in the choker. You might not even think about it with intention, but you see the choker that he's wearing, and you might see that he has an earring in, and that his shirt is laced up, and you might think, oh, he's into fashion, he's into creating outfits and stuff like that, and you kind of just can tell what kind of person he is. Or when you saw Jennifer Coolidge before, by her makeup and the way her hair was done and the clothes she was wearing, you're like, okay, I know what kind of girl this is, you know?
mhm. The and of course Michael McKean on the right. He's been in a lot of things. And I don't think he's ever played a gay character before that I remember. So it's kind of interesting to see him play that role. Um, These two, I don't recognize. I think these two are specific for this movie, but they were pretty good. So, and it was obviously she was wearing the close up of her wearing braces several times to emphasize she was wearing braces.
Yeah, they were, for me, they were probably the funniest couple to watch just because they were so northeastern.
Northeastern.
They were just reminding me of Connecticut, you know?
Oh, okay. I gotcha. Those are the ones that were talking about how they were having sex in front of their dog, right?
Yeah, yeah, and they loved like Land's End and they met in Starbucks and it's just like this is very very like Connecticut or Washington State or something like that, you know?
Uh-huh. Let's see. Oh, as the oh yeah, and then these see this part. I guess I kind of missed it. So eventually, she separates from the older man and goes with her, right? I guess. I mean, obviously she does, but I missed the
Well,
part where they separated. I guess I
I
was.
think this is before that. I think she hired her or like oh what's her name? Jennifer Coolidge hired Jane Lynch, you know, their characters, I don't remember. Um to be like a dog trainer and then they have like a little affair before we don't know what happens to the old man. Maybe she left him, or maybe he passed away. We are not to know.
Okay, because I was afraid I missed something there. Because the next thing I know, they were together. I was like, wait a minute, where wasn't she with the other guy? And I didn't want to go back. I just like I already saw this. I'm not going to rewatch it just to figure out what I missed. So
Right. I think they had an affair, and then when it cut to 1 year later, they were like officially together. So,
okay, the here we got Christopher Guest again with this. Somebody stated I can't on YouTube. I was watching a couple of videos before we did our show. I can't remember who said this because I would like to give them credit, but I don't remember who it was. He said something to the effect that this was trying to show his loneliness, how he's alone.
yeah, yeah, for sure.
I had a when I was a kid, I had a my parents bought me one of those. Not it didn't look like that. It was a W.C. Fields ventriloquist dummy thing, and I tried it a few times. I never got into it. So, but it
Those
just
kind
mostly
of scare me.
really
Yeah.
the
There
dummies
was this
do,
one, go
or
ahead.
the dummies in general, or W.C. Fields.
Dummies in general. There was this one episode that was like kind of creepy of Hannah Montana, and I watched Hannah Montana from when I was like 7 to when I was probably 12. Um, and it was just such a creepy episode and it had the a dummy in it and they made it so that it would be a little spooky. And I don't know, it just stuck with me. Those kind of creep me out.
Oh,
Like it's gonna get up and start talking to me without a hand in it sometime.
here's 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 what mine looked like when I was a kid. Something like this. So.
Oh, that's scary too.
This adventures. Yeah, this might be the same one I had. I remember it had a little hat, something like that. So let me see. I'm bringing it up here. I'll be careful. Uh, oops, I'm not trying to play the video. Oh, hey, when it does that, give me a sec.
Yeah, and I mean it's definitely a talent. I'm not saying that it's not a respectable talent and an art, some might say. It's just a little scary.
Let's see. This is Playtime Kids. In case you're wondering. Oh, gotta be careful with that. Maybe I should turn this off. I don't know if you know. YouTube has this weird policy about kids videos. If they think it's made for kids, they'll demonetize the video and lock out comments so people can't leave any comments. So I'll stay off of that one. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I won't go through any of these. But basically, that's what I think. I'm pretty sure it's been a long time, so I don't remember exactly. But yeah, that's what it looked like. So anyway, so basically, no ventriloquist dummies for you.
Right. And they also oddly remind me of Christmas. I don't know why. It's creepy Christmas, spooky, scary Christmas. I don't know.
Well, that's interesting because I think I got my W.C. Fields when it was Christmas. So
I don't know what it is about them. It's just creepy.
let's see.
Oh, this
Now,
is great. I just love like how I love how funny the scenes are. It's great. How they were set up. It's just perfect.
I don't know if you noticed this. I know you probably did, but if you look at the clocks, each one has a different city, but they're all the exact same
Yeah.
time.
I did think that was really funny.
And this the thing with the dog with the shaved legs and everything. I mean,
Yeah.
this it looks like they did their homework as far as to making it as authentic as possible in some ways, and still, one person put this on YouTube, and I don't remember who said this. They were trying to show you how you can make fun of the characters, but at the same time root for them at the same time. So you're not looking down upon them, but you're also kind of you're laughing at them, but also still liking them at the same time. I guess you could say.
Yeah, yeah. There's a quote about satire. I forget what it is, but it's something like if you don't research, what you're trying to mock well enough, you're going to become part of the community that you're mocking. So I feel like it's a good thing if you're going to make a mockumentary about something to really do the research about it so that you don't end up, you know, making a fool of yourself.
Hmm. And of course, there's Ed Begley Jr. there. I don't know if he was in the other ones. He might have been in the other movies as well. So he's always playing his interesting character. Let's see. Oh yeah, her character. Yeah. Oh, every time she had dated, she said literally 1,000 people or thousands of people.
Yeah.
Every time someone would recognize her, and even the one guy comes up and kisses her on the lips.
Yeah, that was so funny. I feel like it's just a great exaggeration of characters.
uh,
It's just a really well done thing. I hope more people like find it and watch it because I never would have found it if I didn't see it on HBO Max and I've never heard anyone speak about it before. So,
Yeah, and like I said, I had never heard of it either. But then again, I find it funny that I haven't since I've watched the other movies that these people have done before. So it's not like, and I'd watched at least two of them anyway. I'm not sure how many they've done so far, but the fact that I didn't know, and this one only came out 2 years before A Mighty Wind, and that one was pretty funny too. It's the same style and everything. This is Fred Willard in Fred. Every time I see Fred Willard, he always plays that kind of same character in these movies, and other I've seen him in other things too, where it's like he's not things he says just don't really flow with what's really going on around them. But you just want to tell him, like shut up. You're not really supposed to say that out loud. It's kind of a thing. So
yeah.
and he's pretty funny in this. As usual, he's usually pretty funny in these. I've seen
Yeah.
him in other things. I can't remember well off the top of my head, but he does that kind of character on a regular basis. So
But I think that scene was really great in kind of showing what you were saying before, how they combined the comedy like kind of satire um with the actual factual representation of, you know, the dog show because they had that guy. Who was it? What was his name? I know you just said it. I
oh, Fred
forgot.
Willard, Fred Willard.
Yeah, Fred Willard. They had him being kind of like the funny comedic guy that didn't really know much about it and was kind of mocking it in some ways. And then they had the guy sitting next to him saying actual facts about the dog show, which was kind of interesting.
The guy on the right, I recognize him. I'm not sure, but he's obviously playing the straight man to Willard, who's being the comedian. So, I care. I want to say I know who the guy on the right is. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know who he is. I want to say he's actually a real announcer of some kind, which would be really
Yeah, I
funny.
feel like I've seen him before. I think he might actually announce for dog shows or something
Hmm.
like that. I'm not 100% sure.
So the dog show itself, there we go. Like we were saying earlier, and it looked real. I've never been to a dog show. I did go to once. Went to a cat show, which was kind of funny to go to. And the people were very serious about their cats and walking around. And there were so many different varieties of, like, when it comes to dogs. Obviously dogs and cats are all part of selective breeding. So like they've been transformed over the last, was it, I think 100 years. Like if you went back 100 years, you wouldn't see such a variety of dogs and cats. It's been more of a recent phenomenon where people have purposely bred dogs and cats to come up with different varieties. So,
Right.
and the cats, when I remember, there's not when it comes to cats, there's not much of a variety as far as the way they're shaped. Most of them are pretty similar. You have the flat faced cats that are kind of interesting looking, the hairless cats. But most of the time when it comes to cats, it's more or less just a different kind of fur. Um, so when it comes to dogs, though, it's the dogs are more, it's more along the lines of incredibly different shapes and varieties, which is much more drastic than the cats are. So,
Right. I think it's
and
because. Oh, go ahead.
I'm fine. I was finished.
I think it's because dogs were so much more domesticatable, because there's always that saying that's like cats are always gonna be a little wild, they're always gonna they're better at being stray cats, stray
Um,
cats are pretty good at existing because they're so wild just inherently, and they're really good at catching birds and squirrels and stuff like that. um and dogs have kind of formed a real reliance on humans.
hmm And of course, when they're domesticated, though, you have to make sure they're domesticated because if you don't have if they're not domesticated, then they have no the ones that aren't will not be reliant on people at all. They'll just want to be by themselves. They want nothing to do with them. So yeah,
Right.
big difference. But I was looking at the different dogs. Uh, what was the dogs that Michael McEwen there? That one, their dog right there. That was that one right there. That's the dog right there. Let me.
The Shih Tzu.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, the way they had it done up, it just looks so funny.
Yeah, I feel like Shih Tzu. I feel kind of bad for Shih Tzus and like small dog breeds because they seem like little dolls, you know?
Mm-hmm. And especially that one with the
Yeah.
little in the hair. Just so you know, we have a commentary. He was just asking about it says alley oop. He's talking. It's nothing to do with the video. I just want to bring attention. He was asking how to do the alley oop crap. He's referring to a game, a mission, or one of the tests in San Andreas. It's kind of tricky. So he's probably. I assume that he's to answer your question in the commenter that you're probably frustrated by doing it. That's if you want to know how to finish it, make sure your frame limiter is turned on when you're doing the mission. So that would help you out. So. I just want to make sure, in case Olivia, you're wondering what that question was about. He's asking about the game, not the movie. So,
Also, I like that joke, Alley Poop. That's funny.
yeah, yeah, a lot of people get frustrated by that because they can't complete it. So I can understand why he'd be frustrated like that.
That makes sense.
uh,
But yeah, those small dogs, I feel kind of bad just because when they have their hair done up, it almost seems like more of a hindrance you know, than a benefit for the dog. It looks like it's harder for them to see than if they just had their face hair cut, you know?
hmm
Looks like he has a beard and a mustache.
He does like a big mustache almost. So, the let's see, the my dad and his wife had a they used to have a dog. He died a couple years ago. But I can't remember what it was. They didn't take him to a dog show, but they had to trim the fur. Otherwise, it would cause problems if he for him. And it's probably because of selective breeding and everything. It's not one of the ones that's on here though. I wish it was because I could show it to you. But I kind of look like that one a little bit, kind of. Okay, wait, there, like kind of like that one a little bit. But
Oh, a
what?
terrier. Like maybe it was like a bigger terrier than that because that's a small one.
Well, the one they had was very tiny, that size as well. So
Oh,
I'm not sure if that's the kind of dog. If my dad was here, he'd be able to tell you, or his wife. So, but they had to constantly trim the hair, otherwise it was causing problems all the time. So, the one thing I have a friend. It's a childhood friend that we've been friends since we were 10 years old. He's into basset hounds. Did they ever show basset? They didn't see any basset hounds on this one. Have you ever been to a dog show? I forgot to ask you that.
I have not, but I've been to the dog park like so many times that I kind of know a lot about dog breeds. Just 'cause from talking to different dog owners and stuff like that. I think they did show a basset hound. I think the one that oh, what was his name? The one that the guy has with the ventriloquist doll.
Oh, yeah, Christopher Guest. Yeah, it's the country guy, kind of a country
Oh
guy.
no, wait, he doesn't have a basset hound. I don't think they show a basset hound.
Trying to get back to him. Yeah, no, that was not a basset hound. You're right. That was like a. I'm not sure what that is, but it's too big to be a basset. Yeah, him. Yeah, yeah, he was. Yeah, no, that was something else. I know what you're talking about though. So
Yeah, I forgot that basset hounds are like low to the ground.
yeah. His was yeah. I'm not sure what that is. I don't know enough about dogs, and people start saying that they have a dog and they start spouting off what it is. I just kind of phase out because I'm like I have no. They'll say like they'll say whatever breed it is, and I'll go okay. It's like I don't know. I've heard the name before. I just don't know what it means. So I mean I know certain ones like I don't know. I can't even think of the ones I know off the top of my head. Some of them I do know, but most of them I don't. So
Right.
a pit bull, that's what I know. No, pit bull for some reason. Yeah, there's his dog right there. There it was. Oh, when this does this. There. No, that's not him. Where was I? Oh, I saw it. There he is. Anyway, you got the idea.
Yeah.
There you go. This thing is hard to pause and unpause. So, was there anything in particular else about the movie?
No, I just really liked it. I liked how the costume design kind of went with the exaggerated characters, and I really enjoyed how, I don't know, how everything just flowed and how the characters just seemed to fit so well in the movie. They were just very well written.
Oh yeah, yeah. These guys when they come together, they do a really good job with their character. And a lot of this, I don't know if it knows, was improvised. Excuse me. Um, and improvised in a way, as Fred Ward said when he was, I'm sorry, not Fred, but Fred Willard, excuse me, getting his name wrong. Fred Willard, I saw an interview about how he, before we did the show, and he was talking about how when they improvised their characters for this, when they improvised, I'm trying to see how to say this right. They have to be improvised in a way that the characters would be talking and not improvising what they just feel like saying it randomly. So it has to be
Right.
what. So and they all do a pretty good job of that. So and I don't know how much of this is improvised, but from what I understand, a lot of it is a lot. So, um, but it takes a really good talent to be able to do improv work. It's not something that's easy to do. I keep on trying to pause because I've tried areas right there. When I laughed earlier when you were talking, I wasn't laughing at you. I was laughing. Oh, darn it! It stopped again. Sorry.
Right.
There he is. And the old, I can't get it to stop. It's the old guy in the wheelchair. That's what I was trying to stop at. So, but hey, well, let me bring up some of the other movies real quick so we can see those. I'll go to here. Um, this is Spinal Tap. I'll bring that one up right here. Like I said, this is the first one of this style. Um, there it is right there. I believe that's Michael McEwen right there. I believe. I'm not sure. But it's the same style. It's really if once you see it, you'll if you were to watch this one, you would see the exact same style going on. It hasn't changed. They have not changed their style. It's the same thing. There's Fred Willard again. So um, I'm not sure who that is, but as the movie goes along, it's you have the same people. Yeah, it's the same actors or basic core actors that are there. They're just playing different roles. So yeah,
That's fun.
that's definitely Michael McEwen right there. So
Right.
uh, and let's see what else. Oh, and on the right, Rob Reiner, the director. So the funny part is when I first saw this, Rob Reiner when Rob Reiner is bald on top, but he was on a TV show called All in the Family, and he had this huge comb over that made it really hard to tell when he did this movie. It was hard to tell it was him because he didn't do his comb over. You could actually see his bald head, and he grew a beard, so it didn't look like him at first. And he put on some weight, so it looked the exact opposite from what he looked like in the show. It's kind of funny. So,
Oh.
but yeah, this is one of them. I'll close that out. If you're interested, if you like that one, you would definitely like this one. And let's go back to the
I'll try to find that one. That one sounds fun.
back over here. Christopher Guest. Oh, Rob Reiner directed that one too. So that was like almost like a cameo of sorts. Where's it? A Mighty Wind? Where is that? 2003, I think it was. Oh, here it is. A Mighty Wind. So yeah, this is the other one too. And it's like I said, this is another musical. It's the same group of people doing their funny characters. Eugene Levy and what's her name? Catherine O'Hare, and there again. So it's just that this time it's just polka music. So, um, but yeah, this is definitely another one of their movies. Like I said, I don't know how many they've done now because I'm curious and I'm surprised. Like I said, I never heard this one until you told me about it because I this is something that like This is Spinal Tap was a huge movie when it came out because it was so radically different from anything else. And then when A Mighty Wind came out, of course, my dad said he wanted to see this, so we went and saw that. Maybe it was mentioned, I just didn't know about it. So I'm not sure how many of these there are now. But I'd like to see. I'm interested to see if there's another one. I'd probably watch them as well. So.
Right. I don't want to say it's like a hidden gem because what if like it's a well-known movie and I just don't know anyone who knows it? I don't know how to explain it, but like what if it's like really popular in some like community of people and I'm just like completely oblivious to it?
You don't mean like a cult following, do you?
Yeah, I don't know if it's like cuz I really truly have never heard of it, but it's such a like a funny mockumentary movie that I don't see how it wouldn't be popular, especially now. I feel like that kind of movie or TV show was like mega popularized obviously by The Office. And so I feel like everyone's kind of looking for a movie that's mockumentary style. So I don't know why it wouldn't be so popular.
Mm-hmm. Let me go back to. Let me go down here for a second. I'm gonna look up his director. Here we go. If there's any others that I recognize off the top? No, I don't. Uh, no, I don't see anything. Oh, I should go to his writing credits. I go there instead. Um, Mighty Wind, of course. Spinal Tap was very popular. They made a couple of smaller videos as well, and they even made a guest appearance in the TV show The Simpsons, playing the same characters. The same actors voice the same characters on The Simpsons because it's so popular. So, Spinal Tap. Have you ever heard of Spinal Tap? I'm just curious.
I had not heard of it.
Okay, it is a as far as this genre goes. If you say that, most people know immediately what you're talking about. So, um, and I guess over time, the other ones that they've done like this, like A Mighty Wind and this one, what Best in Show, are probably just not as known as the other ones. But I'm assuming, like you said, I could be wrong on that. I don't think a Best in Show and A Mighty Wind are that well known. But like I said, I don't want to say with absolute certainty that some people are saying no, 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 they are. But um, let me see, Mighty Wind. Um, I don't see anything else that stands out. Oh, that's the. I went back to the director one. Sorry. Uh, where is it? He wrote Spinal Tap. Yeah, this is Spinal Tap. That's the first one. There we go. So, big picture. That's something completely different. Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, if there's another one out there, I'm curious. I'd like to if someone could let us know. Um, oh, and by the way, I'm sorry to pronounce your name in the comments there. He just came back. He said he just passed the alley poop. So
Yeah. Congratulations.
there you go. So okay. So going back to Best in Show, what kind of grade or how would you rate this movie? I guess.
I would rate it probably like an 8 out of 10. I really enjoyed it and I feel like it's something that I could watch um kind of anytime, really, because it's kind of just a funny, upbeat movie.
Okay. Yeah, I'd give you the I would give it the exact same rating. I'll go with you on that. And as far as This is Spinal Tap, and even though I have not seen that movie in a long time, I would give that one the same rating, only because it falls in the same the same everything flows pretty much the same. So, just different jokes, different characters, obviously. And A Mighty Wind, I've not seen that in a while, but I'd probably give that one the same kind of rating as well. So. And for those who are interested in these, if you like This is Spinal Tap, and I keep on referencing that one because that's usually the one that people talk about the most, you would definitely like this one because it definitely falls in line with this. Alrighty. Well, do you want to go ahead and let's see. Let me bring this back down. Go ahead and we'll bring up the question from earlier. Give me 1 second here. I'll bring it up. Got
Go for it.
some results. All right. There we go. Oh, interesting. Nobody has picked one of the results yet so far. Here we go. Um, do you like movies or television shows better, and why? Leave a comment. I watch YouTube videos overwhelmingly at 88%. I read books at 0%. Oh, I do it in order. Excuse me. The next one down will be 5% with other. Movies next with 4%. Television shows with 3%. Then finally, I read books at 0%. Interesting. Hmm.
Really interesting. I would think this is what I thought would be the percentages. I thought that, and of course there's still time. I thought that TV shows would be the highest or like the second highest. YouTube would be up there, and then movies, and then like at least a little bit for I read books. But maybe since this is on YouTube, this is like a YouTube poll, it probably doesn't capture it's not like a completely random sample size of people, so there's probably going to be less people that only read books if this is YouTube. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. The it could be people that want to watch or want to listen to audiobooks too, but that's probably not a very large number of people either. So I know there are some audiobooks you can listen to on YouTube. So
That's true.
TBH, I watch the Sandeep Mohan R. TBH, I watch YouTube videos because everything you see on television can be viewed at YouTube uh, with some simple steps. Pretty much, that's true. And then I think it says porn. Oh, okay. um, that's only so far. So yeah, thanks so far everyone for commenting and voting on that. We'll come back to that next week. And
Definitely.
did you have anything else you want to add before we wrap everything up?
Well, I think I forgot to mention one category of video because I really enjoy watching like cleaning videos or like restoration videos, like odd tinkering, or there's a few videos by I Did a Thing. It's all one word. I did a thing.
Okay.
And like Baumgartner restoration. They all like restore or create different things. Yeah.
Okay.
He kind of goes into testing different cool theories and like stuff that he sees on TV. I think that's a really interesting channel that you would probably like because it's funny and it's not like, I don't know, it's kind of like constructing new things out of old things, and I really enjoy seeing people be able to do that. But yeah, that kind of video where it's like cleaning things, restoring like a lighter from the 50s or something. I think those are really interesting to watch too.
Yeah, I have watched video. I've not seen this channel. At least I don't think I have. But I have watched every once in a while. Watch someone do a restoration video, but it's not like something I'd watch on a regular basis. But I do agree with you; they can be pretty fun. But for me, not on a regular basis. So
Right.
the I do remember watching people like I think they were like one time they were restoring old tools, which is kind of interesting. They were and old miniature like Hot Wheels or Matchbox sized cars from way back in the day, and they fully restored them so they look really nice, which can be pretty tricky to do, especially when
Yeah.
they pot marks on them and they try to remove. You have to remove the pot marks because of the rust and everything. So
Right. Yeah, those are always like super interesting videos to watch. Or like there was one that was like restoring. It's by Odd Tinkering, and the person restored like an old sea ship light. It was like really rusty, and it came from, oh yeah, they do a lot of game stuff too, and it's really satisfying to see a yellow game console or something go to like a new bright white, games console is really, and it's also really gross to see what kind of stuff's in the game controllers. There's always gross stuff in there. Sometimes they find bugs in there. Really
oh yeah,
gross.
yeah. I'll show you the guy I go to once in a while. I mentioned him earlier. His Tech Moan. It's him, right? Well, that's not him. It's his icon avatar. He doesn't even look like that, really. Okay. But he does videos about. He's gotten really popular. Wow, over 1 million subscribers now. He does. You can see all this stuff. I haven't gone to this in a while, but I'll watch it periodically. And he just brings up older, like I said, older technology stuff that's not used anymore. I think he's about my age. I think with the videos, he looks like he's about my age. And he just he goes on eBay and other places, he buys them and he does a little research on what you can call research, like looking things up, and he talks about the stuff that was used. Here's one where he talks about old carts. I think I saw this video. The carts are what they used to use in radio stations where I was working. When I first got into radio, we used to use them all the time. It's kind of cool to see him talk about how they worked and everything, things like that. And they're not used anymore. Well, They might be if you have an old radio station that's just never updated, but most radio stations are all digital now, so you wouldn't really need them. So,
Right.
but it's really, the stuff in there. It's like stuff I know the stuff he's talking about. Other times I have no idea what he's talking about. I've never seen it before, so it's just really neat to see that he'll do some minor restoration. It's not major restoration, but he'll do some minor restoration every once in a while. There's another guy, I can't remember. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I'll remember after we're finished, of course. He actually goes around and he does older computers. Um, and what he does is he restores older computers, like computers I used to use when I was a kid. Like, well, I never used a Commodore, but he's restored a couple of Commodore computers. He was going to restore some old Atari computers, but he's never gotten around to doing that yet. So that's the ones I use. When I was a kid, I used to use old Atari computers. I had an Atari 800 computer, which no one seems to remember anymore for some reason.
Right.
I'll show
That's
you
so
real quick.
cool. But yeah, I think that's the genre of video that's like cleaning and restoration videos have I think that's gotten like super popular recently.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah.
a stress reliever, I think, to see somebody make something like totally deep cleaned.
Oh yeah, and then you can see like the fade, like it'll be like these people like you're talking about the fade. You're talking about the like the colorization of the material will fade over years, so it's not the original color. And sometimes they can bring back the original color, so you can see what it looked like when it was brand new, which is really cool. So
Yeah, for sure.
this is the Atari 800. In fact, I still have one down in the basement somewhere. So, but that's what I used to use when I was a kid. I used to program on those a lot. So the funny part is, I tell people, I'll say that Atari used to make computers, and they'll look at me and say they never made computers, and I'm like, yeah, they did, and it's like they don't believe it. So,
Yeah. But yeah, I think that's it.
alrighty, cool. Alrighty, well, let me go ahead and I guess close this out. All right, well, thanks everybody. We'll come back next week, and we'll go back to the question. Go ahead if you want to add to the comments. Go ahead and or to answer the poll. We'll come back to that as well. And thanks for watching.
Thanks for listening.